After a long break this winter, we leave Egmont via le Grau du Roi. We go to Port Camargue for a haul out of cleaning and maintenance and repair of the propeller. The whole maintenance took more than a month, but after all, we can tell you that we are very happy with the result. It's January and we are leaving for Port Camargue. The BAROLO needs some inspection, cleaning and maybe some repairs. So off we go. We made a reservation at the shipyard Uship. In January, the prices are much more interesting than later in the season. The average price for lifting a boat like ours in this period is around 450 euros for getting in and out of the water. It's always nice to receive a compliment about a boat. Our apologies, we ordered the wrong size. At first we wanted to leave early in the morning, but later on we decided to leave by the end of the day. This because the opening of the bridge was only 7:45 early in the morning, and then we would have sailed in the darkness. And as you can see, this is much more beautiful. The second opening in winter time of the bridge is 4 p.m. Direction the second bridge, where we had to wait for the fishing boats. This is a very classic iron swing bridge, very famous in le Grau du Roi. Here we had to wait for the incoming fishing boats. In total it appeared to be 6. Finally, it's our turn and we can go direction le Port Camargue. As you can see, this is the most beautiful moment of the day to pass by le Grau du Roi.
We hebben net voor de brug de tweede brug in Grau du Roi moesten we op bedachte 2 visserschepen wachten, maar dat werden er 6. Best wel veel. Ook leuk, ja, en dan moet je natuurlijk als particulier bootje keurig op wachten. Hebben we gedaan, dus het is nu een half uurtje later en we zijn met, ik denk 10 minuutjes zijn we in Port Camargue.
The harbour office of this harbour has a typical design and therefore it's easy to recognize. Le Port Camargue is the biggest harbour in whole Europe. In previous videos we announced that it was 5,000 birds, but now it appeared to be 7,500 birds. The harbor is surrounded by apartments and marine-related facilities. Pontoon R. Hans and his friends were waiting for us, probably for a drink.
"9:30 in the morning. It's time for the boat lift." These guys take their job very seriously, and that suits Ewo just fine, as he is very much the same.
Dat zijn deze hefpunten.
He explained them where to put the straps. Port Camargue has 3 different boat lifts. This is the biggest one, used for heavier ships just like ours. The lift is operated with a remote control. Very precise, straps are put in place to ensure everything is stable. Ben je tevreden? We were very curious to see how the underwater ship of the BAROLO would look.
Les bateaux qu'on a sortis avant vous, et on devait remettre à l'eau.
I had a small discussion with him about where to park the BAROLO during our stay.
D'autres bateaux qui vont venir, comme nous, mais ils ont des problèmes mécaniques.
The supports are put in place and the BAROLO is being parked. The 4 tires of the boat lift can be moved independently of each other. My mom followed some of this day via FaceTime and just could not believe these supports were sufficient to keep the BAROLO from tumbling over. And by the way, look how clean she is. Ewo is getting started with the high pressure washer. For just about €60 you can hire this very professional machine. Fortunately, the conditions of the hull were much better than expected. The anodes were still in a good shape and very little material had worn away. We expected to find much more growth of shells and seaweed, but Ewo removed the old black antifouling first.
We knew the propeller had to be repaired. 3 blades were a little bit bended, but actually this never caused any problems while navigating. After some discussion, we decided to repair it. And every inch of the underwater ship is inspected. The propeller had to be detached and sent to a company nearby Marseille. This proved to be a challenge. Several methods were tried. Meanwhile, we are preparing the BAROLO for its first layer of primer. In total, we bought 10 liters of primer and 10 liters of antifouling, so in total 20 liters for about 800 euros. Also, at this stage, we had decided to do a spot repair on the blue hull. The advantage of the south of France that even in January, when the sun is shining, it is a great month to repair your boat. Meaning, not too hot, not too cold, a very good climate to repair, and the cheapest one of all the year. Meanwhile, we spotted that our neighbor had hired a polisher. In total, we painted 2 layers of primer on the BAROLO. While painting, the sun kept shining for days in a row. After a couple of days, Uship came up with some more special professional equipment to get a propeller off. But after this heating, it went very quickly. Meanwhile, I installed a new depth meter. We take off the tape in order to let the paint dry. After a couple of days, we will start applying the antifouling. Sanitary solutions for emergency. The toilet building was quite far away, so just for the night I made this construction. Of course, we emptied and cleaned it before the working day started. Our neighbors left with a shiny ship, polished by Jimmy. Impressed by the result, we asked Jimmy to work on the BAROLO.
In the meantime, Uship came over to do the spot repair on the blue paint. Just some minor scratches that could not be polished away. This might look terrifying, but the man is experienced and knows what he's doing. The whole process took a couple of days. Here he's applying the primer. We We always kept some of the original paint, and that's what's used here. Despite the fact that this job was done outside and not indoors, the result was really very good. After a couple of days, Jimmy came back to finish the job polishing the boat. The result of the polish was excellent, also due to the fact that we have very high quality paint. Polishing process is done in 3 steps. First, extreme cleaning, almost like sanding. Then, the actual polishing. And thirdly, the protection layer. Total costs for polishing 1200 euros. That's really worth it. It's just impossible to achieve the same result yourself. Finally, after several weeks, the prop returned. And to speak frankly, it looks like a new one, doesn't it? It's so shiny. What a pity that after this it will no longer be visible. It will just do its job unseen underwater. Of course, we made sure that everything is installed in the right way. We can now say that everything works perfectly, even having checked the kinetic shaft. After 1 month of being here, we just want to say thank you to all the people from Uship for their very professional help. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the end result.